Ok? Continuando os nossos trabalhos, eu gostaria de convidar o senhor Darren Nielsen, presidente da Associação dos Old Crowns. Pronto. He correct me. You are the best director of the association. Okay. The best director. Okay. Okay. Mr. Darren, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you can understand my English. My Portuguese is really bad, so I'm grateful to be here today. Commander Diaz asked me to take a few minutes and discuss the Association of Old Crows. So we're happy to do that. Thanks to the Naval Club for working with us to host this discussion, to the Admiral for chairing it. And as he said, my name is Darren Nielsen. I'm on the board of directors of the Association of Old Crows. There's a picture of me when I was much younger and much smaller. And we'll talk a little bit about, so first off, why Old Crows? Many people ask, why is the name Old Crows? So the history of that is during World War II, in the US and the UK, electronic warfare was developed as along with the radar as it came to the magnetron was developed during World War II. And so the code word to keep electronic warfare secret during World War II was Raven. So those electronic warfare operations and the personnel involved in electronic warfare during World War II were referred to as Ravens. In English, we have the word raven and the word crow. They're essentially the same thing. Cuervo in Spanish. I'm not sure what it is in Portuguese. And so the people, after time, the people that were electronic warfare practitioners and engineers and scientists became known as crows. So people referred to electronic warfare personnel as crows. In 1968, during the Vietnam War in the U.S., a group of veterans, primarily veterans, but a few scientists, came together and began discussing electronic warfare and how to preserve the tradition and the culture and to foster it. And so they decided to form the Association of Old Crows. They called themselves Old Crows amongst themselves. That was what their group was known as. So they formed this Association of Old Crows, or the Association of Electronic Warfare. So that's the history of the name Old Crows. So if you're wondering what that means, that's what that means. So why the AOC? What does the AOC provide? Our focus is on those 6 things. So on membership, on advocacy, on communication, collaboration, mentorship, and education. So first off, membership. Our goal is to provide a community for electronic warfare, a community that operates across all the sites. So within the AOC, you'll have members that are from the government, you'll have members that are from the military, you'll have members that are from industry, and you'll have members that are from the university. And so it allows a mix of ideas from people that are operating the equipment on ships and airplanes and tanks, from people that are in laboratories developing the equipment, from people that are fixing the equipment, on and on. And so it allows this collaboration of ideas, this discussion of different viewpoints to foster membership. The advocacy piece of it in the U.S. is quite robust. We're seeking to develop that internationally. You see on that kind of that big box in the middle is something that we call industry partnerships. So what we have done with those is we have brought together companies that have an interest in a specific technology or capability, say high-powered lasers or gallium nitride transmitters or whatever the case may be. We bring those industry members together into a ad hoc committee and partner them up with members of the U.S. Congress to discuss ways to invest. So this way the Congress can take ideas from industry without favoring a specific company and being non-competitive. They're able to listen to industry and understand what's the art of the possible, where would be good investments, and that way the government can get input from industry, make decisions about budgets and priorities and policies. Industry can influence those things so that they are most useful to industry, to allow industry to provide the best answers to government, etc. So we are forming those. We are internationally, we try to work with our local partners. So in South America, we have a chapter in Brazil, the Wild Parrot chapter, and Commander Diaz is the president. We also have a chapter in Santiago, the Condor chapter. And so what we'd like to do is to begin to work with the chapters locally to establish similar sorts of partnerships or collaborations to allow advocacy so that we can have the communication between policymakers and the budget, those who own the budgets, and the industry and the military to sort of come up to make sure that everyone understands the issues completely and from each other's perspectives and can make wise decisions. So that's advocacy. Communication, you see there in the bottom, in the middle, the JED, Journal of Electronic Defense. That is a magazine that the AOC publishes monthly. All members receive that magazine as part of your membership. That contains articles that deal with everything from policy discussions, technology developments, large programs throughout the world that may be ongoing, as well as news about the membership itself. We also send out emails every week that highlight events that are going on that you can participate in. Collaboration is another big one. You see on the, I think it's that one. I just put up, these by the way are all off the crows.org website. These are all just pages that I did a screenshot of. This one lists several events. So the AOC, much like we've done here, we will coordinate with local groups, whether it's an AOC chapter or whether it's some other military base or a military school or a government organization or an industry company. And we will organize conferences and symposium to talk about electronic warfare or electromagnetic spectrum topics of interest, just as we are doing here today. We'll do that by helping to bring in speakers, by helping to bring in exhibitors for a symposium, helping with logistics and organizing the conference itself. You see there on the list, there's a list of conferences that are coming up, mostly in the U.S., but one of them is in Singapore that are being organized by AOC in the next month and a half. So you can see there's several of those that go on, and great opportunities to collaborate in those type of events. Mentorship is really kind of part of the membership. So what the AOC offers is we have this diverse range of members, and many times what happens is you then show up as a young engineer, for instance, and you're at some symposium, and you see some more experienced member, an old crow, get up and give a talk on some type of operation or some type of technology, and it allows you to go make a connection with that individual and begin to mentor you in your career. So whether you're in the military or whether you're in industry, you can find people in your career field that are more senior to you and allow that mentorship relationship to begin to form. And then finally, education. So one of the big things that we try to foster in the Association of Old Crows is to educate our membership and educate the community writ large more about the electromagnetic spectrum and about electronic warfare operations. Up here in the right corner, this is a schedule of webinars. So once a month, we host a live webinar. It's interactive. It's available to all the membership. It's free. You just register for it. It comes up on. It's delivered via the internet. No software is required on your side. You simply go to a web page. You log on. You're able to see the instructor real time. You're able to ask questions. He's able to answer your questions, and you're able to participate in these webinars. We do those once a month throughout the year. They are also all archived. When these webinars are over, they're archived so that you can also watch them on demand. You don't have the interactive piece. You're not able to ask the questions, obviously, but you can view those webinars. So many of our membership will use those as a method of education within their company or within their military unit or within their laboratory. They will bring their staff together. They will queue up a webinar on various topics that are of interest, and they'll go through these webinars and discuss the technologies or the topics at hand. We're also collaborating with universities and other professional groups to establish EW certificates and criteria, education. For instance, right now we're coordinating with Georgia Tech Research Institute, a university in the U.S., to offer a master's degree in electronic engineering. And it'll be available internationally. So we're working those kinds of issues. We're looking for other partners of a similar nature internationally to offer a broader range of programs. So those are some of the things that we offer within the Association of Old Crows. I personally became exposed to the Association of Old Crows as a young officer when I was flying the EA-6B Prowler in the U.S. Navy. And I showed up at my squadron, and the senior officers came to me and said, hey, you need to join this association. This association will help you to be a better professional. So I joined, wondering what the heck an Old Crow was and what it was going to do for me. And many, many years later, here I stand. I've learned much about electronic warfare. I've met many electronic warfare professionals that have helped me in my career over the past 25 years since that date and time when I was a young officer in the U.S. Navy. I would offer that same experience to all of you and to those that you work with and work for and that work for you, and hope that the Association of Old Crows can continue to be a partner with Brazil and with the electronic warfare operations here in your country to further the electronic warfare community and the electronic warfare or the electromagnetic spectrum operations within your country. And with that, I thank you very much for your time and for participating in this conference with us. Thank you.
Mr. Director,